What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Sword Art Online Season 2, Episode 2. And this episode, I definitely enjoyed the episode more than the first one because this right here is what I wanted. I wanted some action, and we definitely got in this one. And I am kind of glad that they did focus on the new character, Sinon, because I was so curious about her, and I'm glad that we got an episode so early that was just dedicated to her. That right there was like definitely nice. And when the episode itself starts off, we see Sinon, and she's actually, taking on, I believe it's like some boss, because this monster was tough, and she was taking the thing on single-handedly. And this creature, it was like some kind of like mutant bull thing that could like pretty much shoot out this like powerful laser, I believe it was, because we saw at one point that its tail, it had actually, like melted through this like pillar with ease. So I do believe that, it was like some kind of laser, or maybe like some kind of like, hot liquid magma or something, but it definitely, had some heat. And Sinon here, she was able to, to kill the thing single-handedly. So normally, she is a solo player, and she definitely, had the skills, to back that up, to be solo. And so after she had, killed this boss, her reward, or her quest reward, it was this sniper, which we saw used throughout this episode. And now we know that the reason why she shot these guys, it was because these people, they kind of hired her, and they're like these player hunters that hunt players that normally go after monsters. So it definitely, made sense why they be hunting them. And so right off the bat, there was like this one guy and the group of player hunters that like stood out. He had a cloak over his body, so nobody really know what was like going on with him, because they couldn't see what kind of weapons he had. And so we saw the other guys, they had like standard stuff, but this guy was a complete mystery, and Sinon didn't like that. But these guys that she was working with, they weren't worried at all, because this right here is something they do normally. They go out there and they hunt other players, so they were like, kind of used to this. And we have this one guy, he was kind of worried a little bit, because he thought that because they hunted them, last week, that maybe they'll probably, try to change up their strategy here, or it's possible that they might go another route entirely. But their leader, I forgot his name, but he pretty much wasn't worried. They were like gonna stick to this plan. But then we have like this bald guy. He was pretty much, hitting on Sinon and trying to get her to go out with him, and that right there was hilarious. But she did turn him down, because she said there was something that she had to do in the real world after they were done with this. But now they were all getting into their positions, and we see now that, after she shot that first guy from last week, he was pretty much killed instantly, because she got a headshot on him, and that right there is probably like a KO. So she killed him, but when she shot this mysterious guy, he like just moved to the side a little bit, and he dodged her bullet. And so now when he takes off his cloak, we see now that he has a minigun, and this thing is freaking OP. This gun is overpowered, because we just saw the work he would like put it in with that. And so because he had a minigun, he was like easily able to take out at least most of their guys. Like we saw the one that was like hitting on Sinon when he had charged in there, and we saw that these players, these like player hunters, they do have like this barrier, so that way they won't, like really get phased by the monster hunter weapons, because unlike them, they use like I believe it was called like some kind of like light weapon, while the player hunters, they use like guns and stuff like that. So obviously, like these two play two major roles, and the player hunters, they pick weapons, specifically to kill other players, because that's how dirty they want to be. And so we see that after he had I believe he killed one and the other hid, but after he had killed him, the guy with the minigun, just came in there, and you just see this like look of fear on his face as he got shot up, and then obviously, he had died from that. And so after he killed him, Sinon, she notices that this guy, he was actually, smiling, and there where they go to show you, how confident he is in his skill, where that he can smile like that in the middle of battle. And so right now, she had to change her entire strategy, because she planned on killing this guy. she just needed, to get in his blind spot. So throughout the episode, we saw her, like trying to take him out, but this guy was like really good. And we saw the other players, they were like kind of struggling, and even their leader at one point, he had actually wanted to give up because their backs were like literally against the wall, so they had no idea how to take this guy out. And so we see Sinon, she actually, like gets closer to them. And so we see that their leader here, he was pretty much willing to like log out rather than giving them the victory. And it took Sinon here to pretty much, like talk down to him, because she had called him pathetic. And so to her, it was like, it was better to like take a stand right there, and to take a stand right there and fight, because it's a possibility that they could actually win. Because even though they hired a bodyguard, which we learned, and this bodyguard here, he apparently has a pretty big name for himself. So he's not some small fry. He's a name and he's well known. Oh, and we also learned that Sinon is the world the world best sniper, at least in that game. So that right there is very important, because you are pretty much not going to find somebody better than her. So that right there was definitely awesome to know. But now we see that that these men, they are going to put all their trust into Sinon, because obviously she does not want to give up, and she doesn't want them to give up, so they have to trust her. And we see now that they came up with this plan, and it was definitely good. I do wish that it could have worked, but obviously some things didn't work out that way, but it did work for the most part though. And so we saw Sinon and the leader, they had charged in while his men had provided backup. And so we see now that pretty much when somebody getting ready to shoot you kind of see like, you can kind of see where it's coming from, because throughout the episode we saw like these like red lines and red barriers like kind of like everywhere. So that right there, it was definitely a nice touch. And so we see that once he gets charged in, we have Sinon like taking a shot. And even though this guy dodged it, it still grazed him some, as we saw that that his eye gear, it was actually destroyed. And at first I thought that he might panic some, but this guy was definitely enjoying himself. And we saw now that when he aimed his gun at Sinon, we saw like this, like we saw all these red lines that were pretty much going to like engulf her body in bullets. But luckily, I believe it was that guy, the leader of all those men, I believe it was him that had shot the bodyguard in the arm, which like threw off his shot. That right there was definitely nice. But then we saw those other men, they had shot him, and you see now that like one of those bullets actually hit his arm, and then like he had charged in there, he was getting shot up. And we see now that he had these 2 grenades on him, and when that final shot was like a headshot, because we don't see his face, but obviously it's gone, and that right there killed him. But luckily his grenade was still there, and when it like landed by the other men and blew up, it took them out as well. So now it was like this final confrontation between Sinon and the bodyguard, and their fight, it was definitely impressive. And luckily, thanks to that grenade, Sinon thought that this guy, that he could not see her at all, and so she went to like this broken down tall building. And so the way she was running, you can tell she is very agile, and I like that. Like even though she had this like heavy sniper, she can definitely move. And so eventually when she reached the top and was going to take aim, this guy was already already had his gun pointing to her. It's like he knew where she was going. And so obviously she had to jump out, otherwise that'd be the end for her. And we just see that when this guy shot a couple of bullets, one of them hit her leg, and it was just completely gone. That right there was crazy. I thought that might be the end for her, but luckily it wasn't. And we see now that this guy, like he was kind of struggling to hold his gun up, like that high up for so long. And we see now that that Sinon, she was dodging all of these bullets, which was definitely impressive. You know, even though she's falling like that, she can still move so freaking well. And she was dodging everything, like nothing was hitting her. And eventually, you know, she had finally got that perfect shot. And when she took it, it went right through his head, all the way down to his body. And then we got this like cool pose of her on the ground, where this guy's body, you know, just blew up. And that is where, afterwards, we see her logging off the game, and that is where we see the real Sinon, you know, for the first time in this. And so, you know, after that, she was like thinking to herself, and eventually, you know, she wants to become stronger, because that right there was like definitely a close call. She might be the best sniper, but it doesn't mean that there aren't players out there that could be stronger than her. So she does want to get stronger. And then we cut to LAO, where we have I believe her name was like Silica, probably saying it wrong, but we have her, Leifa and Liz, and they're all like attacking this boss, and it's pretty much kind of like from the first series, where we saw like this plant monster. It takes hold of a Silica, and it's like holding her up, and now she had to be saved. But this time, rather than it being Kirito, it's now she's now being saved by Leifa and Liz. So now we learned that Liz, she's out there getting some kind of like, she's out there getting these materials for I don't know what, but she is still, you know, running a shop there, even in ALO. And now we see that Kirito and Asuna, they are there, but they're like bonding rather than like fighting with their friends. And that right there kind of caused the other girl to get a little bit jealous. And so right now we see Kirito. He actually plans on telling Asuna about what he plans on doing in Gun Gale, because we saw him in Deep Thought, and it does seem now that he will tell her. So I definitely can't wait to next week, because hopefully we'll finally see, you know, Kirito, you know, go in there, and I cannot wait to him and Sinon, you know, meet face to face, because that will be epic. But like I said, overall this episode, it was definitely good. I finally got what I wanted, so I couldn't ask for more. So personally, I would give the episode, you know, probably a 9 out of 10. But of course, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.